Karate bangs.
Why are these karate bangs?
Because it looks like someone just chopped them with their bare hands.
Well, that's exactly what happened.
No audio.
Did you see that? Something exploded.
Really?
Yeah.
You're shitting me. Well, welcome to the Powerful Truth Angels Love and Relationship Podcast. And I just want to start off by saying...
Has it always been a love and relationship podcast?
Yes, that's all we talk about is love and relationship.
Yeah, it's actually more of a sex podcast.
No, Jason, don't make it. You made it weird so fast. It got weird. Usually we're usually a graffiti and fine art podcast. Sometimes we're a sativa podcast. Sometimes we were a food podcast when Maddie was on. Today we're a Fresh Bangs podcast now that Jane's here. Listen,
Fill them in on.
I will. I'll get there.
Here?
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to all of that. I want to start off the show by saying, first of all, things are going really badly around these parts. Okay, last week when we had Polo Cuddy on, we were delayed by an hour because of technical difficulties because Jason didn't know how to. It's so embarrassing for me.
Yeah.
As my guest, I'm mortified, and
sure.
And because of the technical difficulties, we were started an hour late, and Jason had the wrong SD card for our new studio that we built. And today, we all got here on time, except for me, and we all sat down. Everyone's like ready to go. Jason presses a button and the fucking board exploded. Literally, not only did the board explode, but Jason brought no camera, so we're doing the video on an iPhone. So we went from...
And we'll stick the clip in right now because we have the video clip of it.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting for them to see nothing. Well, unless there's like a flame.
No, there's a spark and smoke.
Okay, if there's not an actual visible spark, then B, put it in post.
Okay.
Put a little mini explosion in there.
Right, I'll traumatize it.
Okay, look. I think that the production value of this thing is going from like a 3-camera setup with like high-end recording equipment to like we're hanging on by a thread recording on a fucking iPhone. I'm using my phone to do voice notes. Like,
which may I say,
which really matches the ambiance.
I know. We're in the we actually should be upgrading completely by being here.
We should be upgrading. So maybe I pretend to talk into this, but it's not
visually.
No, but I feel like you walk in and you're immediately bombarded by music.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I feel like this is again
the whales of people's hopes just dying in guitar chords.
I feel like this is like very apropos to that.
It's true. This place is just a big sinking fucking spiral shithole.
Like plywood walls.
Yeah, the plywood walls are insane.
I hate them.
Yeah, it's terrible, right?
Yeah, so
it's like
bad.
it's like what is this like? Is this some sort of like slavery dungeon, like kidnap hotel? Also, people are complaining because people are really upset because the studio has changed, because it's been in my apartment for 3 years and the backdrop was like my living room.
Yeah, it was much classier.
It was much classier. It had a sign, and people are really upset. Someone told me that on the IG people are talking shit and people are pissed. What's going on? Because I haven't seen it.
Can I have some of your Dr. Pepper?
Oh yeah.
I'll do a waterfall.
She doesn't have Dr. Pepper. No, that's all you.
No, that's yours.
That's a freshie.
That's why I didn't open it yet.
Can you let Daria in, please?
Yeah. Guess first. I'm energized. I mean, that.
You just assumed.
The studio exploding kind of woke me up.
You looked at my bangs and you're like, "That's a Dr. Pepper drinker."
that's a pepperhead right there. Side note: speaking of salt and pepper, do you remember the salt and pepper analogy from the other night? The ketchup.
That made no sense.
That was insane.
That was insane.
If you know what we're talking about, and some of you do, but there was an amazing metaphor made in something that we heard where people were, I can't even talk about it. It's insane. Okay.
Canceled immediately.
Canceled, yeah. We're canceled. This is a cancellation podcast. We're going to see how fast we can get Jane canceled. My friend has a theory that he said it's impossible for women to be canceled. Do you guys think that's true?
You have to be somebody to be canceled. So that's like...
I mean, but do you think it's impossible for women to be canceled? Because like they tried to cancel Lena Dunham, it didn't work.
What about Sarah Silverman?
She's not canceled. She's running. She's like, what? How could they cancel her? What did she do?
Blackface or something?
I think she said like weird. Yeah, like I feel like all the female comedians like Virgin, just like racism.
Yeah, but it doesn't take hold. I mean, I don't think anyone's cancelable now. I think that it's as evidenced by Kanye's meteoric. How do you say meteoric? Meteoric. Phoenix re-rise back into the Adidas offices.
Is he back?
He's back. They're rehiring.
No.
Yeah, they're like,
we lost $1 billion.
Yeah, we got to figure something. They're like, the Jews and all that stuff is, we care, but we got to figure something out because.
What do you guys mind? You put the phone down, just
He's said that multiple times, and
I'm worried that if I don't hold it and hover like this, it's not going to catch anything.
Just put it in between you guys.
But don't you ever watch Instagram Street? You ever see the Instagram Riz accounts where dudes try to pick up girls on the street and they always have the phone like this? You guys know what I'm talking about?
I mean, if it feels cool.
Maybe.
All right, I'll leave it here. But if it goes south, I'm gonna go. You're gonna see me go fucking nuclear.
Okay.
You want to see me melt? You don't want to see me melt down. It's terrible. It's a terrible thing to see. So listen, I apologize that the set isn't what you're used to. I apologize that the sign isn't back here. Jason, just put it here in post for a minute. Can you do that?
Oh, absolutely.
No, I promise.
Crazy.
Why don't you just hang a poster like a trompe l'oeil, like seascape or?
No, we have a logo. We have a big giant logo on a big piece of picture board, but it's a huge piece of wood that I didn't want to lug over here. I didn't have time to do it. Jason's he's lost interest in this whole thing. I don't even know. He's playing.
This is
he's
very
playing
uninspiring
Tetris.
as a space.
I'm sorry that don't pile on. I'm trying to talk them out of this. I apologize.
But is this forever, this place?
No, this is not forever. This is a studio that we erected, but we're probably going to redo it. We're probably going to tear it down and do something different because people are pissed, and I don't want to piss off the consumers of this amazing product.
It's also already been destroyed.
And Jason blew out the soundboard with his mind, which he's just prone to do. I think he's a saboteur of the highest level, and I think that sometimes he just likes it. You'll see what he'll do is that not only will he make the soundboard blow up, but he'll just in the middle of a sick rant, he'll just derail me. He'll just stop me and be like, "Did you remember to turn off the gas in your house?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, welcome to the show, everybody.
You were twiddling your thumbs while you were talking. That was something I noticed. Speaking of saboteur.
Jason was?
No.
Me?
Yeah, you're like.
Ew, gross. I do that. I do that if I watch a movie and it's really good. I go like this. I can't believe you saw it.
You're twiddling your thumbs. So that's crazy.
Is that maybe the most drying thing you could do in front of a woman? Is you're on a date and you just go like this?
I remember, I don't know what it was. I think it was the Black Stallion.
What?
Okay, in the movie The Black Stallion, there's a scene, I think, where someone's twiddling their thumbs, maybe Mickey Rooney.
Oh, you're talking about the OG Black Stallion.
Maybe, is Mickey Rooney in the OG Black Stallion? I don't know, but I just remember there was some horse-related movie that I was obsessed with as a kid. Maybe The Black Beauty, maybe Black Stallion. I don't remember. And in any case, there was something around twiddling thumbs, and that's when I first became aware of what twiddling thumbs were. And I think my dad was explained it to me and stuff. And then I found myself over the years resisting the impulse to twiddle my thumbs.
Fuck.
Which is so weird.
I didn't even know it was
so
doing it.
old timey.
Oh, it's so old timey. It's so disgusting. It's like before they even had board games. This was fun.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go twiddle my thumbs.
My thumbs are arthritic enough from typing text messages every day, being on my phone. The last thing I need to do is move them unconsciously.
Oh my God, it's terrible that I do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have today on the show Jane Moseley, and Jane Moseley is a very interesting person. I decided to have on the show. First off, I realized that she had a great voice for radio. And that was my first reason to have you on, because I heard your voice the other night. I was like, what a voice.
What a voice.
What an even measured tone.
The microphone did something to it, so it's kind of a sadness that it's not working tonight.
Well, wait till you hear what this iPhone does to your voice.
It's probably gonna make me want to die.
It's gonna be completely modulated and beautiful when he gets done with it. He's gonna cross process it.
Oh, good.
You're gonna take out all the hiss and.
Well, there's no hiss.
The nasal.
Professional studio.
Take out the nasal tones, make it just velvety and dulcet. There's
a vocal in it, Adobe Vocal Enhancer.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I don't want to fucking know this
It's
shit.
I don't know what it's called.
So yeah, guys, we're gonna fix this set. I'm sorry. Don't abandon this thing that is just getting started at this point. You know what I mean? We're still gonna make merch. I've made all these promises. I will see them through. It's just been I've had a rough beginning of the year. And I know when people talk about oh, this year is hard or this is a rough month, but I had a crazy, I moved, had a close friend die. Then I got COVID. You know what I mean?
After?
Yes, I just had COVID like a couple weeks ago. It's great. It wasn't even that bad.
That's your second time, no?
Maybe my third.
Okay.
Doesn't everyone get COVID all the time? I think people.
I got it twice.
You got it in the fucking riots or something. I remember
Yeah, I was
you were in the streets.
Up for my fellows.
Yeah. You were marching for BLM and you got COVID because
because we got tear gassed and obviously it was unpleasant. And so in my desperation, this guy handed me a water bottle that had already been opened and presumably drunk from. I poured it into my eyes. And I remember having like that moment being like, well, this is either going to give me COVID or not, but I'm going to go for it regardless. And then I actually was completely asymptomatic, and it was Dylan who was like the sort of indicator species.
But Dylan also told me that he did something equally disgusting.
He did
to do with someone's
thing.
foot or something. He touched something terrible.
Well, there was a person after we were leaving. We went to many, okay?
Yeah.
We were very involved.
Yeah.
But we were leaving somewhere in South LA, and this dude like literally was just lying in the middle of the street. He had collapsed on his bicycle. I think he was drunk. He had a beer bottle in his hand, and that miraculously didn't break, but he was out cold in the middle of like an intersection. And so, to try and stay consistent, Dylan pulled over and helped him. But they like pulled him, like he and some other guys like rallied and like pulled this disgruntled man out of the intersection. And I guess he like touched his shoes or his sweat or something, and then thinks that might have also.
And then licked his hand.
Yeah.
I think he literally told me.
No, I think we like ate.
You got
food
barbecue,
after,
yeah.
He like literally doesn't wash his hands because it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And
I was terrified of when that was happening. I was
remember.
so afraid of COVID. Okay.
Oh
my god. This is good.
We all like hung out in like the early days of the shutdown.
Yeah.
And Alex came over and was like obviously very concerned, as we all were, but we decided to go on like a tranquil hike to try and like up our spirits or whatever. And we were
This is like day one.
Yeah.
This is like day one of the pandemic when they're like, we're in a pandemic. And we get in the car and I'm with you and Dylan Saul.
Yeah, and Saul. And then Saul just keeps going about all of the horrible things that are about to happen.
We're all going to die. We need to start
hoarding
food. What if this happens? What if that happens? And I'm in the car and all of a sudden.
I just look in the rearview mirror because it's only Solomon talking. And I just see Alex completely passed out, like unconscious.
I stress. Listen, under.
He's like one of those
stress,
fainting goats on like TikTok or something. Like
that. Sometimes my fight or flight goes haywire.
You're like a possum.
And sometimes if I'm allowed, especially if I'm in a car and I'm extremely stressed, I just fucking pass out. And I fell asleep for like 5 minutes, and I heard people going.
The mouth was agape.
Yeah, I'm just. And
it's crazy.
I heard the front seat going, is he asleep? And I was like, oh my God, I fucking passed out of just sheer stress because Solomon was like describing in detail everything terrible.
He was not being delicate about the situation.
No. And then him and I afterwards we went to a bargain supermarket and just like bought just all this terrible shit that I never ate.
What happened to it? Did you throw it out?
I ended up throwing most of it out. It was like it was like the bottom barrel, just everything. Because I was like, the fucking supply lines are gonna collapse. We're not gonna be able to get anything. I'm gonna be eating beans. Like,
I have like a 50-pound bag of dried beans.
Yeah.
In an open storage bin, and it's something. It's just something that I keep looking at, but not dealing with because it's like since I think animals have like lived in it and like bugs have like, gone through many life stages in this bag of beans. And
it's
like,
just open to the elements.
It's the bean. It's not open, but there's like evidence that things have gotten in regardless.
Yeah.
Like worms or I don't know. Like it's crazy.
Don't you have an animal on your property that can eat that? Because I know you have a lot of animals.
Yeah, but I feel like I have to like moisten the beans first because otherwise it's like.
But someone at your house can eat those beans. It's not.
Yeah. I have pigs and chickens.
You have pigs now.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. So Jane's a friend of mine. Jane has a very interesting place in the sticks, and it's kind of like an orphanage for animals. Not really an orphanage because you're actually it's not like homeless animals. Yeah, you just have you hoard animals. Am I wrong? She's an animal hoarder. I've diagnosed her, and she has like for me going there. I mean, I whenever I think about it, I'm like, I don't go there enough because there's a giant fucking tortoise, which is like, I've always wanted a tortoise. He's like this big. His name's Bob.
Sulcata, yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, dude, do you have a horse over there?
I don't have them at my house, but I have 2 horses.
You have 2
one
horses.
of which I'm actively trying to get rid of.
Yeah, you got to get rid of that horse.
Financially killing
It's a burden,
me.
yeah.
Burden.
So she's also a horse lady. She's a turtle lady. She's definitely a cat lady. You have like 37 cats.
7, yeah.
Dirk is here. Dirk, you want to say hi? Come here, buddy. Come here. Okay, let's bring Dirk. Dirk is a fucking long ass.
You have to hold his spine up or his.
Oh really? Why? What happens?
Because they're so long that they'll like break their spines or something.
I don't want to. Can you imagine if I killed your dog? This is Dirk.
He's like paralyzed from the waist down.
This is not like holding Omar. Dirk is a fucking monster.
He's like 45 pounds.
Should we put Omar on top of Dirk's belly? What do you think, Jason?
Like Demikov.
Yeah.
So this is Dirk. He's one of the tenants at Shea Jane. Jane is a well, do you model still? Are you still modeling?
I don't know.
Jane's a model.
I should ask my agents.
Yeah, Jane's a model.
Maybe not after these bangs I cut.
Maybe not after these bangs. She's trying to sabotage her career with one haircut at a time. Mm-hmm. But also Jane is a very interesting person because I feel like you're an anti-model. You're a reluctant model. Right? Is it terrible? Should we not talk about this? I think even talking about it is making you cringe.
Horses.
Hi, buddy. Let's talk about horses.
I mean, it's like it is what it is. Like I got into it. It's paid me very well. It's like a gambling addiction, which I'm sure you can relate to. Where,
How is it like a game? It's way better than a game.
No, but it's not because it's like you're sort of like as long as you're like open to the idea of it happening. Like it's like my life is constantly like sort of at a standstill because I'm like waiting to know if I have this job. Which if I work one day, like I'll get paid better than like anything I do, as a career for an entire month or whatever. And so it's like, I'm just always kind of like waiting to hear if I've gotten this job or not. And then in the meantime, my life just slowly passes by.
Yeah, but you have other interests besides like,
Yeah, but
like if you have the opportunity to model, then why not fucking model? If someone was going to give me a bag to like, get my picture taken, like almost anybody would do
I'm
it.
like aging and dying, and like I don't necessarily want that like recorded.
You're dying
you know what I mean?
Inside, yeah.
On some like HD monitor.
I mean, what are you gonna do? It's like there's less interesting ways to spend your life. Can we talk about? Well, this is the best thing is that Jason has done research on you, and there's stuff in here that I don't know about you.
Wait, no.
Yeah. No, listen.
Yeah.
I said give us.
Why did you watch these things? You're crazy.
I said give us some show notes.
So embarrassing.
I'm so embarrassed. I said give us some show notes, and he made them all up. I wanted to do.
I didn't even know what you were just like. Want to come like the podcast? I didn't know if I like was gonna have to like. I didn't know in what capacity I was gonna be here.
You're just here. We're having a conversation. It's just two people having a talk.
Why did you look?
Don't we want to have a conversation? We just
and
have
take
a conversation.
notes about my stupid
I did. Okay, the
existence.
first note's easy. He just wants you to know that a dirk is a type of dagger. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's a short dagger.
Oh, okay, of course he knows that. She's a medieval. She's a page boy.
I'm fully.
She's a full medieval. As a matter of fact, you guys, I always say that
a squire.
He would be in the outer castle bog, just kind of like doing some really crazy like labor.
A peasant?
Yeah, something pretty gross he would be doing. Like funneling shit through a tunnel. And you'd be somewhere in the castle as a cute prince. You'd be like a princely.
I don't know. I feel like that would have been my era aesthetically.
Aesthetically,
like I feel like I have like refined, enlarged features in certain areas.
Yeah.
But overall, like I have like a kind of like pale inbred quality that might have served me better then as
because
like
I
being
think
a great beauty or something,
But also you
in
could
the
like
court.
I could see you like enforcing like corporal punishment being kind
Absolutely.
of evil.
Yes.
And maybe even at some point, like being like, I need to
Vain and evil.
Like I need to kill like 12-year-old boys because I need their blood. It's gonna make me younger.
Torture.
It's usually virgin women.
Virgin women, yeah.
Which is much more
like in
something
you've seen all the Hostel movies, right?
I think I've seen one.
You haven't seen two? I
don't remember.
I would have pegged you for a big like horror fan. Am I barking up the wrong
am,
tree?
but like that to me, I'm like, there's no, like it's just, I think it's called
Slasher
torture
porn. Yeah, I guess so.
And
but
like,
it's
I'm
the best
not
version
against it, but I'm also like, it's a little redundant after a while.
Okay, fair. Check. All right, we're back on. Where were we?
Renaissance.
The Renaissance.
Middle Ages.
Middle Ages.
Yeah, the
Right.
Renaissance is a little more progressive.
And this is evidence of like, you know, the genetic, like you would have been genetically in the monarchy and he would have been on the other side, because it's a slight, and it's a thin line between monarch genetics and peasant genetics.
Well, yeah, because there's so much inbreeding.
Yeah.
My
It's true.
favorite,
They're
my
so
favorite
inbred, right?
example, the Habsburg family.
Oh yeah, I think
I feel
just
like
saw
I have
something about
a similar jaw.
Oh yeah, the jaws get
Habsburgs.
really distended.
They're
Oh my god,
insane.
you're fucking right. I just saw
And
something
the
on this.
paintings, like normally, like, you know, sort of like royal portraiture was idealized, and for whatever reason, this shit wasn't. Or if it was very, very.
Have you?
Realize that.
I saw something on this. I saw a quick thing about this, and it shows this family was so inbred, and that their jaws just start looking like Mac Tonight, right?
Like,
It's called the Habsburg jaw.
The Habsburg jaw.
Yeah.
You know about? See, of course, I knew. See, you
Yeah.
fucking medieval people are
I know.
fully.
I know.
That's a famous guy.
It's just
There he is.
like looking in a mirror.
And this looks like so many assholes that you'd see in like either.
Well, and they finally became like sterile because like the genes like just couldn't
Oh no,
vibe together anymore.
I've seen these fuckers out. You see them out in New York or Silver Lake. You see them around. You look at them. You're like, you're obviously come from money. I was playing.
a dynasty.
Yeah, no. Listen, there's a people that come from like long money. I was playing cards at this thing this weekend, and like I was sitting next to a guy, and I was talking to him for a minute, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, and I could just tell within like 90 seconds he was incredibly rich.
He had like a quivering hand.
No, it wasn't like he was weak. It was like he looked at me, and he was looking at me, and he was like looking just like he looked right through me. Like he was very polite,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like kind of shitty, but I couldn't prove it in court.
Yeah.
But the way he looked, I could just tell that he was not used to anyone saying no to him. He didn't matter what I said to him; it wouldn't rattle him. Mm-hmm. And then he was like trying to game the girl in between us, and is like the worst. Like, you know, within like a matter of 5 minutes, he was talking about his like floor seats at the Clippers and his friend's boat and all this stuff. And I'm like, bro, this is. I mean, I guess that's how you do it if you're rich. You just talk about all your shit, and then you're getting laid, right?
I think so.
Okay,
I
so
know.
yeah. So a dirk is a type of dagger.
Correct.
Jane, I'm reading the notes. Jane's artistic endeavors included drawings she made of her running over her parents when she was 15.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
That's awesome. She calls her artistic proclivities quote unquote weird. Okay, so you're 15 years old.
Yes.
You're 15, full of just like angst, right? 15-year-old angst.
I was a monster.
You're a monster. Probably like
the movie 13 was very relatable.
Oh fuck yeah! Was that your shit? Were you like a shoplifting on Melrose type person?
You know, I never stole.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not true. I did steal once. I stole from the snack shop in elementary school because it was student run, and it was literally like, you know, pretzels and red vines and shit, but like individuals, like that they would sell for like 5 cents a pop or something. And my friends would all steal very like openly and blatantly, and they would brag about it, and like, you know, like their airheads, they were just sloppy. And like I remember just whenever I stole, I would go into the girls' bathroom, go into a bathroom stall, and then like unwrap the airhead, eat the airhead, and then like wrap it in toilet paper and like throw it away. So like the evidence was destroyed. Like I was like a serial killer. Like,
right, you're already covering your.
Instinctively knew. Like I don't know where I even like thought to do any of this. I never told anyone.
You had a little bit of bleach that you like covered up your tracks.
Yeah, like I was so thorough. And then sure enough, one day I'm sitting in like study hall with one of my best girlfriends and her boyfriend, and they were like the kind of cool kids. And she gets up and goes to the bathroom and then comes back in running and is like, Max, which is the name of her boyfriend. She's like, there are cops coming. They just pulled David out of the pool. Like, they're coming for you. And we were all just like, what the hell is this bitch talking about? And like kind of laughing and stuff. And literally like 2 seconds later, full policemen like burst through the door and arrest Max.
7th grade. 15?
6th grade.
6th grade. Okay.
Maybe 7th grade.
You were held back.
No, 7th grade. You're right, 7th grade. And anyway, so all of these kids are like rounded up and taken to the principal's office by policemen.
For stealing like Twizzlers?
Yes.
What?
Because I went to this fucking school called the Little Red Schoolhouse on Highland. And like the people who run the school, like the owner / principal, it was like some weird family affair. They're like all besties with the police departments. Because, like, this dude, like, the woman's husband, like, ran for mayor and shit. So, like, they just, like, called in a favor on, like, some scared straight shit.
Oh, right.
And, like, literally just, like, scared the fuck out of these kids for stealing, like, chocolates or whatever. And then, like, suspended them all. And I just remember, like, I literally thought I was going to shit myself. I was so scared. And then after that went down, you know, you're just waiting for like your name to get called on the PA because you're like, these people like must know something. Did I tell like, I was like literally just like racking my brain. And like for like weeks after, like we would like have councils because it was a slightly progressive school where we would all like have like a little hacky sack that we would like pass around in a circle with like Miss K, the counselor, and like we would talk about our feelings and she would sort of mediate these, you know, kind of like therapy sessions with the children. And, you know, she'd be like, do you guys know who anyone else who may have, and I would just sit there like terrified. And obviously I didn't get caught because I was really smart.
It's crazy that they
but I never stole again.
That was it for you?
I stole once from, I didn't steal. I had a person steal on my behalf.
Right. You manipulated a boyfriend and stealing.
A girl, actually.
Well,
she was already stealing everything, so I was like, yo, give me that shirt, and she got the shirt for me. It was ugly.
Okay, well, what is the Little Red School? What kind of a school is that?
It's a private school.
Yeah.
The HLRSH, Hollywood Little Red Schoolhouse.
I've never heard of it.
It's kind of a thing. Like, I remember I transferred there in 5th grade.
Actors' kids there or something?
Yes.
Okay. One of those
musicians
schools.
and actors' kids.
I mean, a lot of people don't understand that, like, growing up in LA, there is such a crazy cross-section of, you know, you end up with the kids who are the sons and daughters of, like,
Jonathan Davis from Korn, when I was a big fan of Korn.
Okay,
I would, like, freak out. But,
I'm
like,
so much older. I was going to say, like, Jackson
it.
Brown or, like, Jack Nicholson, but you're talking about Korn. That's pretty fucking contemporary.
I mean, the kid was, like, much younger than I was, but it was still...
You're still geeking out on
I was geeking out. I mean, I wasn't, like, friends with the kid. I could give a fuck about the kid, but when he would show up to, like, pick up the kid or for, like, a school function... Oh, my God,
you're fucking losing it.
I would be really excited.
You're like, why?
No.
What does he do? Why?
I'm not. But I won't.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that happens in LA if you grow up here, because also, like, I was in a graffiti crew, and there was we were bad kids, but we would also hang out with, like, the girls that lived in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And there was, like, those girls in those places were always hanging out with the bad kids, right?
Pally. I went to Pally for a year, and that was definitely our experience.
That was the vibe, yeah.
Yeah.
And we'd all get in cars and, like, get, like, 10 cars deep and just drive to a party and just, like, you know, sometimes, like, I remember being at some girl's house, and she was like, guys, steal everything.
No.
Take whatever you want. And we're like, you don't have to tell us twice. Like, because she's angry at her fucking dad. So she's like, I'm going to have these little scumbags come over and just, like, loot my house and be like, see, Daddy, I told you I fucking, you know. But, yeah, that was great. Great times. I think, also, I feel like, and you know, I could be wrong here, but as a kid, I was super into shoplifting, but I also feel like there's a thing with young girls and shoplifting where it's like, it's almost like, and I'm probably going to get like destroyed for saying this, but there's something genetic happening. Like there's something inherently like there's
Like
something.
we're building a nest or something.
Yes, you're like magpies.
Yeah.
Like every girl I've ever met, no matter how good or bad she is, has always shoplifted her fucking ass off.
But I don't.
But you did it because you got scared straight.
I got scared
You got
straight.
terrified.
Also, like, there's something, like, just morally so blatant about it.
Yeah, it's terrible.
You know, like, I like ambiguity. Like, I like justifiable
Yeah.
anger and stuff like that. And so I feel like for me, it was like, there was no way I could rationalize it.
I learned that lesson when my house got robbed in my early 20s. And I came home from work and, like, I walked into my house and there was just, like, I was like, what's going on? Something's weird. And there's just like holes everywhere where stuff was because my brain couldn't put it together. And I was like, why is there a hole where the TV was? Like, it was just like things were missing.
Hole, it was just missing.
Yeah, it was just missing. I was like,
I thought of like
No.
literal like craters or like crevices.
no, it's fucking invasive. I never stole after that. I was like, fuck that. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
And then I look at thievery as being something that's so fucking shitty of all the
Thievery.
crimes, right?
Yes.
When I was a kid, the
Medieval
first time though,
thievery.
the first time I stole, I was at school and I was in charge of selling ice cream cups for $0.25. Those little things with the wooden paddle.
Yeah.
And I was such a little fat piece of, I mean, I wasn't fat, but my brain was fat. And I was such a little fat piece of shit that like what I was doing was I had a partner and we're like taking $0.25 and put it in a box.
Yeah.
But what I would do is I would take $0.25 and then not put it in the box and then sell the ice cream and then go, I feel like I'm gonna have an ice cream, then put $0.25 in the thing and then pull the thing out.
It's so dumb.
It's so dumb. I did it like 12 times. And I kept going like, I think I'm gonna have one more. Bloop. Like, it was like 3 seconds after I got paid for it and the kid didn't know. But of course I was never asked to sell ice cream again. And I, as a kid I stole a lot of shit. I was a shoplifter for sure. And I stole whatever I get my hands on for a while and then I stopped. Anyways, so yeah, Jane's artistic endeavors included drawings she made of running her parents over when she was 15.
Right. So that was like a talking point, right? Like I'm supposed to be like, so one time.
You're supposed to pull it out. Like you're supposed to unroll it and be like.
I wish. I mean, I have it. I need to get it framed. I was going through a financial rough patch recently, so I haven't gotten it framed yet. But that being said, my mom moved to upstate New York during the pandemic. She sold her house and, basically dropped off everything at mine.
Oh, yeah.
And like held on to like the most sort of obscure shit from my childhood, like receipts and like it was like all this like weird, like obviously sentimental to her, but like hoarded shit of like my life, and like I don't really know what to do with it because I feel like somewhat obligated to keep hoarding it because like if it's been here this long, like am I going to miss it or something when I'm old? Like, I don't know, but it's like, like little shitty drawings of like cats and birds and like me like killing my dad.
Yeah.
That I like drew when I was like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I have like a really morbid sense of humor, even when I was like a kid, like a very young kid.
From jump.
Yeah. And like that shit is like very well. So there is definitely like a linear progression to the imagery as far as like violence and whatnot.
But was
at
your
my parents' expense?
And I have to tell Jason because he'll love this.
Yeah.
Who your dad is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get that when you were
researching? Did you get that in the research?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Come up immediately, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the only cool thing about me.
Question 4 is so disgusting that you might explode. I'm literally going to, and I have to ask you because you're going to melt. You're going to melt like fucking the Nazis in Indiana Jones.
No.
Her dad was in the Rob Zombie directed Devil's Rejects films as the main bad guy, right?
Never seen it.
What? How have you not? That's just so up your alley.
I don't watch horror. You think I like? He thinks I like horror movies.
Because you have long hair.
I like Marvel movies, and I have barely watched any horror movies, and I don't watch Marvel movies.
What movies do you like?
I like fantasy
period pieces.
Stuff.
Okay, well that's not so similar.
No, it's similar. He's not completely wrong.
I would have paid if I look up Wikipedia and be like, what does the guy who loves the Devil's Reject look like? Your picture's there. Yeah. Like it's insane.
But we've got like fans sending me like Jeffrey Dahmer art and stuff. That's my shit. That's not my shit. My girlfriend loves murders. Yeah.
Cool.
Big horror fan.
So you don't appreciate it. So wait, if you had such a macabre kind of like sensibility as a child, but your dad wasn't those films came way after. So
actually, I wasn't allowed to drink Dr. Pepper for most of my childhood because I had a very bad experience with him after I drank a Dr. Pepper.
With the doctor? The doctor? Yeah.
With Dr. Pepper. I had a really horrible experience with Dr. Pepper.
Wait, what happened?
No, we were coming back from a wedding, and I have this stuffed animal. I still have this stuffed animal named Cheetah, who was a stuffed animal cheetah. Go figure. And Cheetah would come everywhere with me, and I was probably like 5, 6, and we were driving back from San Luis Obispo, and obviously that's like a 6-hour drive or some shit. And so my dad is just there with me, and this is, pre-smartphone or whatever, so I'm just like a monster. Yeah. We pull over, and I want a Dr. Pepper, and I get a Dr. Pepper, and anyway, I start losing my mind because, like, this is already, for me, a lot as an adult. And I start using Cheetah as, like, this, like, little kind of, like, emissary, and I'm like, you're gonna die, Bill. Like a little kid, I'm just like moving Cheetah's neck and like little paws and stuff. And I'm like, you're a stinking, rotting, horrible man. Like, I'm gonna kill you. Like, I don't know what the fuck I was saying. Like, he obviously remembers because he was horrified.
Oh, he was horrified.
I mean, I think he was just like, what the fuck? He was like, it was so spooky because I'm like this like little blonde-haired, blue-eyed, like children of the corn.
Right.
With like my stuff, like speaking through my stuffed animal. My stuffed animal's like threatening my father's life, like in the car that he's like stuck in with me for like many hours.
And that's because of the caffeine and Dr. Pepper.
And I would like make out with like Coke cans and like if I had Coca-Cola, I would go nuts. And like my first crush was Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones, and so I would pretend things were Indiana Jones and I would make out with them. And my dad was just like, no more. So I was only allowed to have those see-through soda.
Those terrible. Because the ones that don't, the clear soda doesn't have caffeine.
Yeah.
I feel like those kids make those fucked up, weird, creepy, disgusting kids make for the best people, because I also just was just disgusting and like weird and just like, all that stuff. And like, and then you end up, I'm not saying I'm the best person, but all the people that I really love are like just demented kids.
Yeah.
And also it comes from like, talking about hoarding, right?
Yes.
In my, I moved recently. Mm-hmm. I moved down the street, and I moved in with my girlfriend, and I have to get rid of a lot of stuff because the place is not big enough to house all my shit.
Okay.
And I'm editing, and I'm getting rid of stuff. And my mom, number one, at the drop of a hat, anytime she can, she'll send me something. If it's fucking Halloween, she'll send me a rubber bat. If it's Arbor Day, she'll send me a tiny tree. And over the years, I go, Mom, listen, stop sending me shit. I love you. Don't send me anything. I don't need anything. She's like, no. And she'll call me and she'll go, listen, I just bought 3 rape whistles. I'm going to send 2 of them to you.
Rape whistles?
Yes. She's like, I'm going to send one for you and Ella. I go, I don't need a fucking rape whistle. Have you seen me? No one's fucking raping me. I'll destroy anyone that tries to touch me. Like, and Ella doesn't need a rape whistle because I'm with it. Like, what are you talking about? Who the fuck listens to, if anyone hears a whistle in the street, no one's going to even blink. Do you even notice when a car alarm goes off? Does anyone care? Do you even pull over when a fucking fire truck goes by? No one gives a shit. Yeah, true. So my mom is just like,
People even plead for their lives and people just turn the other way.
They just turn the other way. Yeah. Like we're so desensitized that you can watch like 2 homeless guys stabbing each other to death, and we'll be like, can you just please keep it? Just I gotta get some fucking moon juice. Yeah. I gotta go buy some $40 almonds. But my mom's advice, I go, Ma, I call her, I'm like talking to her, I'm like, I'm trying to get rid of all this stuff. She goes, what do you mean get rid of it? I'm like, I have to get rid of everything. She's like,
they shame you for that.
Yes. She goes, listen, you have to hold on to all these things because one day you're going to lose your memory and you need these things to hold on. I go, Mom, I don't give a shit. She goes, listen to me. Take everything, put it in a box, tape it up, and put it in the back of the closet. And I go, Mom, I'm not fucking doing that. I'm like, can you let me, I feel like most people would want you to get rid of your shit.
Yes.
And like on one hand, Ella's like, get rid of everything. And the other time, my mom's like, keep everything. Keep all your fucking trash. Yes. And it's I was talking to Daria about it today too, where it's like I have like I've started companies in my house. I have all these computers. I have all these hard drives. I have all this art supplies. I have all this paper. I collect scraps of paper to draw on because
that's what I was like handed, was like stacks, bins filled with like child scrawl.
Yeah. And they can't, and
you're like,
it's
I don't
precious.
know.
You're like, if it's so fucking precious to you, then why are you giving it to me?
That's the other thing.
But you're going to give it to your children.
Yeah, I'm like, here's like literally like a decrepit cat
Yeah,
that has 3. Who cares? But then I'm like, should I care?
I don't know.
But then I sort through them, and then I find the fucking gold mine of like me, that picture I drew when I was grounded and I wanted to get back at my parents. So I, depicted them getting run over by my car.
I think it's awesome. And I think a lot of times people hold on to things with they have some idea that one day they're going to be like really important in the world. And like that document is going to be like, listen, this is what he drew when he was 4.
Yeah, but even those important people, like I see those documents and I'm like, I literally could give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. And dude, here's another, I have love letters in a bin that I was passing in like 7th grade. Like notes that you're writing. Do you like me with a box? Yes, no, that kind of shit. Yeah. Like I have that stuff.
That's crazy.
I have journals that I wrote in from the most like retarded years of my life where like I thought my thoughts were really important, and I go and read them and I'm like, you're literally an imbecile.
Yeah, it's so embarrassing.
It's so embarrassing. But maybe it serves as a purpose to, I don't know.
I guess it's like reference material for something.
Yeah. And the problem is that I work in fields that are creative, and I write and I draw and I do all these different things and I create stuff, and I hate saying that, sounds terrible, but I do. And a lot of times, like when I start cracking that stuff open, I'm like, wow, that's actually interesting. Like it's interesting to see how your thoughts have changed a little bit, but it's also a burden and it's stupid. So fucking burn it all. Ella's parents
burned it all.
They don't give a fuck. They have a baby drawing she did, and they're like, give this to Alex. He's like, they don't care. It was like rolled up. I'm like,
they had a bunch of them, right?
Yeah, they're just like, here. I'm like, I don't.
She's the last one. It loses its like appeal.
They don't give a shit. Yeah, they don't give a fuck. Anyway, so she's claimed young Marilyn Manson as an influence in a video interview 5 years ago. Does that still hold?
Oh, I'm snotting. That's all. Does that, I mean, yeah.
You love Marilyn Manson?
I still consider him to be someone I looked up to when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I don't think I look up to him now.
Are you sure? You want to think about how you phrase
I met him at a Balenciaga party. I mean, even Balenciaga, everyone's just fucking toast these days. But
yeah,
it was about 7 years ago, and he was there, and I didn't want to meet him because I know you're not supposed to meet the people that were important to you.
Yeah, don't meet your heroes.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
And it was interesting. And not like in creepy or anything like that. It was.
I want it to be creepy. I want to be like, can I throw a baloney on you? Like, you know.
No. It was just very. It was.
Was it boring? You can't say. Let's leave it.
Just,
I don't want your next meeting with him to be tainted.
Yeah, he's different now.
Yeah.
I think that's safe to say. We all evolve or de-evolve as human beings.
Because he put on a few pounds?
No. I just think, it's... I was really into, like, Antichrist Superstar and, Mechanical Animal and all of that. The kind of glam era. That was, like, my vibe when I was a kid. I thought that was the coolest shit. I loved, all of those kind of glam goth chicks and stuff. And that's what I wanted to be.
And you succeeded.
Oh.
What's wrong? You got some boogers?
It's just snot.
Okay.
I wouldn't be like wiping boogers on the inside of my shirt.
Where else are you gonna fucking wipe them?
Well, I would go to the bathroom if it was a booger. It's just moisture.
Okay, well, I'm sorry that you're snotting everywhere. Well, yeah, I mean, like Marilyn Manson, he had gotten canceled recently for like being a creep, but I'm like, that's his whole vibe is like, I'm a psychotic animal. Like they canceled him for like doing stuff that he clearly is transparent about. Am I wrong? I don't know.
I read his autobiography, and they were like, they were all completely out of their minds. Yeah. It's also just a different fucking time. Like, I'm not trying to say like that makes it okay or whatever the fuck. Like, obviously everything's like incidental and like subjective and relative and whatever, but like ultimately, like my favorite thing, like someone was like, you always say this, but I'm like, the like most famous groupies during like the 70s were 13.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
And they were like considered like iconic.
I know.
You know, and like everyone's favorite rock star went through them.
Yes.
You know, fucking David Bowie and all these motherfuckers. Like it was just, you know, people were getting married, like people getting married in the South when they're like fucking 13, 16, all this shit. It's just like a whole.
It literally is a different time. And I agree with that wholeheartedly.
And it's all a nightmare. Humans are a nightmare.
Humans are a nightmare.
They will forever be.
Right. Yeah. We're constantly finding ways to be terrible. But I also understand, like, you can't say this on a public forum like a podcast, but like it was a different time. And being a 13-year-old groupie was just like,
that was just
nobody even blinked.
They were like, wow, she's 13. Like, Dad.
Dad. Yeah, like, oh, this chick's gonna fuck Led Zeppelin and she's 13. And sometimes too, their parents were like, yeah, it's cool. Go get on that guy's plane. Totally. You know, and like, and people don't want to like, you know, people selectively don't want to kind of talk about.
Even like Polanski, I'm like, why is a 13-year-old with her mom at the fucking party anyway, even if she was an aspiring actress and like.
At 13.
What the fuck? You're with your goddamn mom.
Yeah.
Like maybe you don't send your fucking teeny children to have sleepovers with Michael Jackson, even if he's like, you know, paying for your mortgage.
Yeah, like how desperate are you?
I'm sorry.
As like a parent.
I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, like what? No, seriously, like you send your kid to a guy who has a monkey and a fucking carnival in his house and talks like a baby. Like what? Of course he's gonna fuck him up the ass. Like that's just.
Yeah.
It's very clear what's gonna happen.
Goddamn bed.
Yeah.
And you're cool with that?
Yeah, and they're so glossed over with like the fame and like what could happen that they're just like, you know, and then they serve their kids up on a fucking platter. And you know, and that's how the Feldmans got their shit.
Corey Feldman?
Yeah, so didn't he fuck all the Feldmans? Listen, I just
How many were there?
There's like 30 Feldmans.
Like a village of Feldman.
Here's the thing, this is the thing that I feel is that like I think pedophilia, I think like adults fucking kids is like, I feel like in the world of like decadence and like, it's like the caviar of just like being as depraved as you can be. Like, cause I think it never ends. It's constantly, it's going on around the world all the time. And you just keep hearing more and more about it. And we have more ways of communicating about it. But like, I just feel like it's always men too. And like, mostly, and then they get to a certain level, and it's like, well, I'm at the point where I have to start fucking children, and like it's like the final frontier, you know. I think. And then
you look at like the Greeks, and you're like, all those dudes were like all the most like, renowned
peg
brains.
Boys. Yeah,
it's just like,
yeah,
it was completely.
You know what a peg
acceptable.
boy is, Jason?
The Greek thing.
It's they would have. No, they'd have not thigh fucking. A peg boy was, I think, for the soldiers. They'd have like a 10-year-old kid with a fucking butt plug, and they call him a peg boy, and they just keep his butthole open, because sometimes soldiers gotta I mean, listen.
Which army is this?
The U.S. Marines in 1987. No, I mean, even when the U.S. went to Afghanistan,
he like deleted something.
He's erasing. He's erasing this whole conversation.
I forget to put on incognito. So
what does that mean?
It'll be my search history.
Listen, now that we're getting into the spiciest talk. We're talking peg boys.
To say something.
No, it's great. No one listens to this show. Deep pedophilia, spicy. We're gonna now take this over.
People think I'm a pedophile.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Now, if you want to know about Jane and her pedophilic tendencies, you have to come over to the Patreon. Okay? Now, listen, it's time for the Patreon. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
All you people who have managed to figure out how in your budget you can shell out $5 a month to hear the most premium, amazing, transformative content. And not only it's educational, it's titillating, it's mind-boggling. And this is where we start using curse words. This is where we talk about Jane's sex life with children and her satanic leanings.
You're really going to give them fodder.
Yes, but that's what they pay for it. $5. Yes. This is for all you.
Come for me.
Where we go one, we go all. This is where we all go to the Patreon. So come over to the Patreon. We're going to jump on over there and continue this conversation with Jane. It's been great having you guys on the free show, you fucking losers. Give us $5. Listen, I'm just going to make another pledge. $5 a month. Here's what you get. You get deep insight into my everyday life, and I start talking to you personally as if you're my very close friend, which you are. You also get to know exactly what's going on with Omar at all times. You can text me, you can call me, you can say to me, hey, what's going on with Omar? I'll give you a call, I'll talk to you, I'll give you a 20, 30-minute breakdown of what's happening in Omar's life. You get to talk to Jane about her Balenciaga satanic orgies and how many young 9-year-old boys she's fucked. And you also get to learn about the nature of life and how life works, and also you just get.
I was like, I don't even like kids.
Yeah, she doesn't even like kids, which is like, unless she's fucking them. So welcome. We're coming to the Patreon. Come on over.
Things.
Shit. Okay, so now we're on the Patreon, right? Come to the Patreon. Just figure that out, Jason. We never do this.
Yeah,
Everyone come to the Patreon.